Great healthcare requires teamwork, and so does great healthcare education. At the IU Northwest College of Health and Human Services, students learn together today to provide the best patient care tomorrow. Nowhere else in Northwest Indiana do future doctors, nurses, social workers, and other healthcare professionals work so closely together in class and in the field. If healthcare is your future is at IU Northwest.
New Concept Video and the Region Sports Network present the Indiana High School Basketball Game of the Week. Today's contest features the Lake Central Indians and the area's number 2 ranked Munster Mustangs. Today's sports reel is brought to you by Indiana University College of Health and Human Services.
And forward, a 6'4" senior, number 23, Brian Stolars. At center, a 6'6" senior, number 32, Ricky Carl. At guard, a 6'4" senior, number 3, Joe Chrisman. At guard, a 6'1" sophomore, number 11, Mike Schlotman. And at guard, a 6'2" senior, number 12, Christian Young. Munster is a senior for the season, number 5-0. Head coach of the Mustangs is Mike Henkin. He's assisted by Jay Argento. The starters for your Lake Central. And forward, a 6'2" senior, number 30, Max Faulkner. And forward, a 6'3" junior, number 42, Taylor Leonard. At center, a 6'7" freshman, number 45, Tyler Leonard. At guard, a 6'1" junior, number 25, Larry Payne. And at guard, a 6'5" junior, number 23, Glenn Robinson.
Munster seemed to be firing on all cylinders from the outset of this contest. Offensively, it was Brian Stolars to open the scoring. The Mustangs were back on offense again. This time it was Rick Carbajal, and he was fouled going to the basket. He proceeded to make both free throws in what turned out to be a special day for the 6'6" senior. Next it was Carbajal again, this time defensively, stealing a pass intended for Widman, then taking it the length of the court and somehow getting it to Chrisman, who was called for the charge. But a nice play nevertheless. After a Lake Central turnover, the Mustangs were on offense again. Christian Young dropped the ball off to Carbajal, who found Stolars for the score. After another Lake Central turnover and a timeout, Munster had the ball again. This time it was Raphael Stringer drawing a foul on Lake Central's Max Faulkner. Stringer made 1 of 2 free throws. Lake Central had the ball off a missed free throw, but again turned the ball over on a backcourt violation, giving the Mustangs another opportunity. And they took advantage when Carbajal, getting the feed from Stolars, posted up on Widman for a 9-point early lead. On this next sequence, after a Lake Central foul and a Munster turnover, the Indians were on offense, but Munster's swarming defense forced another Lake Central turnover. But this time the Indians got it right back when Glenn Robinson stole the Mustang pass, dribbled up court and found 6'7" freshman Tyler Widman on an alley-oop, and finally the Lake Central Indians were on the board. Next, Munster was on offense, but an aggressive play by Lake Central's Danny Passion forced a Mustang turnover. But Munster's Christian Young stepped in and deflected the ball, and teammate Mike Schlotman picked it up and found Ricky Carbajal, who extended the Munster lead. On Lake Central's next offensive set, Faulkner got it down low to Glenn Robinson, who scored on a bucket and a nice turnaround jump shot. With under 2 minutes to play in the first quarter, the Mustangs were on offense again. And with some nice ball movement, Stolars found Carbajal for an easy basket. Next, it was Zach Gentz for a Lake Central tray. Once again, the Indians were on offense. This time it was Tyler Widman from the left baseline, taking it strong to the basket for two. And that ended the first quarter scoring. The Mustangs led by 4. The Indians had the ball to open the second quarter, but an offensive foul on Widman under the basket gave the Mustangs an opportunity, and they took full advantage. With some good ball movement, it was Stolars to Stringer to Carbajal, who again laid it in for another deuce. After each team having a few offensive sets, Lake Central had the ball, and it was Glenn Robinson taking it to the hole. Then it was Carbajal again on a post-up move. Once again, it was that Munster defense forcing another Indian turnover. And who else but Ricky Carbajal jams it home in a Lake Central timeout. With a little over 4 minutes left in the half and the Mustangs with the ball, Raphael Stringer rebounded his own missed shot, got it to Scott Yerge, who quickly returned it to Stringer, and he turned it into a quick 2 points. After a missed Indian shot, Munster once again was on offense. This time it was Mike Schlotman for a tray, extending the lead to 13. With 2.5 minutes left in the half and the Indians with the ball, Zach Gentz fed Taylor Leonard, who turned and scored a nice basket. Next, it was Stolars to Carbajal. Munster had the ball again off another turnover. This time it was Schlotman to Stringer, who ended the first half of scoring. After the Lake Central Centralettes performed at halftime, play resumed. Munster had the ball to open the third, but off a missed shot it was the Indians and Glenn Robinson. After a defensive stop, Lake Central was on offense again. This time it was Leonard finding Robinson for a lay-in. A few series later, it was Schlotman to Carbajal again. Next, it was the Indians moving the ball well. Gentz to Faulkner to Widman for the basket. With a little over 4 minutes left in the third, underneath the Lake Central basket, Taylor Leonard was fouled on the shot and proceeded to convert both attempts. Next, it was Alex Reddick for the 17-foot jumper. On Lake Central's next possession, on an out-of-bounds play, Max Faulkner, off a Widman deflection, grabbed the ball and drove the right baseline for 2 and a timeout. It's the Christmas season and love is all around, even for old St. Nick. Munster had the ball with time running out in the third when Scott Yerge fed Carbajal in the paint and he scored the basket that ended the third quarter. After 3, Munster led by 12. To begin the fourth quarter, each team had one possession. Then off a missed shot, Munster had the ball when Young fed Carbajal for another in-the-paint basket and another timeout. With just over 6 minutes left in the game and Lake Central on offense, Joe Chrisman anticipated the pass and then went coast to coast for another Munster score. On Lake Central's next offensive set, another steal. This time it was Carbajal with the basket and one, but he was unable to convert the free throw. Moving on with Munster in possession, this time it was Carbajal to Stolars and the post-up move. Next time down it was Stolars returning the favor, feeding Carbajal and the basket. On the other end, it was Widman calling for the ball and the score. With just under 2 minutes remaining, it was Zach Gentz for a 3. Finally, it was Nick Kellums hitting a three-pointer to end the scoring. The final score, Munster 48, Lake Central 33. For New Concept Video, the Region Sports Network, and Indiana University Northwest College of Health and Human Services, this is Bob Guerrero.
That was when I ruled the world. That was when I ruled the world.
Great healthcare requires teamwork, and so does great healthcare education. At the IU Northwest College of Health and Human Services, students learn together today to provide the best patient care tomorrow. Nowhere else in Northwest Indiana do future doctors, nurses, social workers, and other healthcare professionals work so closely together in class and in the field. If healthcare is your future is at IU Northwest.